Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to do a quick video showing you how I make my Papercrete paper pulp. So if you don't know what Papercrete is, I'll show you kind of a finished product. So this is kind of my work surface here, so it's really messy. But this is what Papercrete is. It is a planter, and you can do many things actually. It doesn't have to be planter. So this is a pumpkin that is drying right now, and eventually once it's dry I'm gonna cut it out of this pumpkin, and then I'll have a cute little pumpkin shape made out of Papercrete. So it is 3 parts paper pulp, which looks like that. So it's just newspaper or any type of paper that you want to recycle. It could be old bills, phone book, anything that is just regular paper. Make sure if you're using like envelopes, you don't put the part, if it has like a plastic window in the envelope, make sure you don't put something like that in, just all paper. But any type of paper will work as long as it's not like real super slick or anything like that. But like printer paper, if you like print something and you mess up, or if you're like shredding documents, that's perfect, or just newspaper. And that's what paper pulp looks like. So it's 3 parts paper pulp, 2 parts Portland cement, and this is upside down so I'm sorry, but the brand Crete makes Portland cement, and this is just super duper fine, like almost like flour. That's how fine of a cement it is. So 3 parts paper pulp, 2 parts Portland cement, and then 1 part perlite. Any type of perlite will work. This is just Miracle-Gro perlite that you could get from the big box store. So this is a planter that I took out of the mold today, and it's just super fun because you get all these imperfections and it dries a lot lighter than that. I'll insert a picture here of a dried one that I have planted, and so here I just have a bunch that are drying, and I'll do a more in-depth video on how you actually do this. But this is in the 2nd stage of drying where it's out of its bag, and tomorrow I'm going to pop it out of the mold. And this is just like a bucket or like a pail that I got from the dollar store that I'm using. And then you can use bowls, so those are like the metal type of bowls. You could also use like dollar store plastic bowls, as long as they're not super rigid to where they will crack, or super flexible to where they won't hold their shape. That's the only thing I would say keep in mind. But anyway, so this is how you mix your paper pulp. So you'll need 2 buckets, and this is my step 1 bucket. Step 2 bucket, you saw here, this is step 2, where it's all pulped up and ready to go. And then this bucket has holes to allow the excess water to drain. But step 1 bucket, you don't want any holes, you want it to be able to soak in the water. And I'm just using this, you could use a stick or whatever, just to kind of like make sure everything's getting poked down in there. And then once it has been in there for at least 24 hours, I mean, I leave this stuff for like a week before I get to it, and I always have a batch going just so I can make them whenever I have time to do it, because I love plants and I've become like a plant hoarder, and I need pots for it. And I've been using these plastic kitty litter buckets, and I want something that looks a little bit nicer. So I've been working with this Papercrete stuff for probably about 2 months now, and I really love it. So this is the first step. Like I said, you just shred your newspaper, and this is just plain old newspaper that I've shredded, and it's been soaking for 48 hours. And then I will show you what the next step is. You're gonna need a paint mixer, and then they come, like this one's just like a plastic. It was black on the end there. It's kind of covered in cement right now, but you need some sort of paint mixer for a drill. And then what you'll do is, I'm not gonna do it right now because it's super loud, but you're gonna drill and you're gonna mix all this, and then you're gonna turn it into pulp. And this is where it really, you have to kind of use your judgment, because if it's not wet enough, it's going to be really tough to mix, and you're going to have some wear and tear on your mixer where it is inserted into the drill. I actually bent one. My first one I bent because I was doing it too dry. So you're going to need to make sure you have plenty of liquid in there. I would probably even add a little bit, and you're just going to want to pulp it up. And the longer it sits here, the more water it's going to absorb. So once it's pulped, and like the smaller pieces the better. So you really can't over pulp it, but you just want to make sure that it's pretty small pieces. And then you're going to transfer it to your step 2 bucket. So this is my step 2 bucket. And you can see, if it'll focus, the paper pulp is just, it's very small pieces. It's really just pulp. And this bucket has holes in the bottom, not a lot, but just enough so that it's not pooling with water, and you get something like this that is wet, but it's not dripping. See, if I squeeze it, water will come out, but just holding it, it's not dripping. And that's the consistency you want. So this is just a tutorial to show you how to make the paper pulp, and I will do a video soon on how to actually make the pots, such as this one. But really, the hardest part that takes the longest is making the paper pulp. The rest of it, you're just mixing ingredients like you would mix ingredients for brownies or a cake or something. You're literally just mixing ingredients together. So I will show you that in another video, as well as like how to put it in a mold and how to get it the shape you want, and then how to get it out of the mold. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully this was helpful. All right, thanks, bye.